Champions. I'm your host, Chris Budihas, and joining me from the beautiful state of Texas, specifically in Austin, is Chris with Barrel Strength Leadership. Chris, how are you?
Doing good this morning, Chris. And how are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Both our mothers named us correctly, so they were very wise women before their time. And you and I are friends, both Army veterans. You know, some people say had successful careers, yours more than mine. But man, I've watched you for a while, and you've had a great transition from a very successful career in the military into academia with work at UT Austin, and then you created your own company here with Barrel Strength Leadership. What is Barrel Strength Leadership, and how do you do what you do?
Barrel Strength Leadership. It's unfiltered leadership, hence a little bit of the barrel strength, but it's about leadership and executive transition, right? So how do you go from being an executor to a manager to a leader in an organization, and utilizing history as a framework? So going to locations, Gettysburg, Normandy, Market Garden in the Netherlands, Belgium, Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, and using these as almost a leadership lab to go about and think. And I really kind of try to hit on about 9 different themes over the course of multiple stops. That is better than how do we go from a classroom, someone comes in and talks at you about leadership, to making it more personal, interactive. And then what I do differently, I think, as a value proposition to my clients and customers, is that I want to then come back about 60 days later and see what is working, what isn't working, and provide that back to whoever spent the money to send their people to do this event in a way that is going to make them understand that they got a good return on their investment.
Yeah, that's huge. And then my next question, follow on to that, which kind of bleeds over there, is the fact that, you know, I got one foot in the business world. I got one foot, in the DoD consulting world. Is, I deal with business leaders who have zero military background. How are they convinced, like, Barrel Strength Leadership? I want Barrel Strength Leadership. Like, how do you convince them? Because I might be there, going, I run a company that has, 1,000, 2,000 folks who work here. We make widgets. Why would I need some retired military officer to tell me about leadership?
Yeah, so I think what is interesting is, you and I had very long careers, over 20 years, where we get an idea about and understand that conflict and crisis, which is really the structure of what the military's, the Army is focused on trying to solve, is really compressed leadership labs every single day.
Yep.
And our ability to take that from our own personal experiences, provide that within a framework of something that they may have some information on, a historical event. Most of the clients, most people have watched either the Band of Brothers series, Saving Private Ryan, and then you can put them in that position, in that location, and use that as a framework of what went right, what went wrong. Yeah. Was it relationships, processes, training? How did they get from this? And then be able to pull it apart in a way that is what was successful, what was not successful, and use that to help them understand why they might be able to use this as a framework when they're put in a position, a complex or a new position that they haven't been trained for. That they can then lean on that.
No, I appreciate that. It's funny. I've had these conversations with, my civilian friends, if you will, and the business community and it resonates, right? Because we say this all the time, is we're in the people business. I mean, if you make a product or service, you're still in the people business. You're in the people business with your clients, where you got to deliver. You're in the people business with your employees and your other leadership, within the organization. And And like I've told folks, and I've directed a couple of individuals toward you with their companies, is the fact that, in a company, you may have, in most companies, you may have some informal ways of developing leaders, subordinate leaders, as you try to grow talent. Because as you know, and most business leaders know, it's better to grow and retain talent than it is to recruit talent or bleed talent. Is the ability to invest in these folks at a fairly low cost, and you see exponential growth. And I think what's huge is the fact you do this feedback loop 60 days later and get that second touch point. So you're really invested in them, and they've already shown that obviously they're invested in their own folks. So Chris, who are some, can you give some examples of clients you had in the past, and what clients are you looking for in the future?
Yeah, so right now, most of my clients have been those that are associated with the academic world. In particular, soon to be second lieutenants in the military, right? So an Army ROTC or something like that. But I've also had history, graduate students, biotechnical, bioscience individuals who are trying to figure out, okay, I may have a very technical understanding of what I do. I'm a subject matter expert in something very technical, but I need to figure out how to grow my interpersonal skills, my framework beyond what I'm doing. And so those are the clients that I'm looking for. I'm looking for someone who wants to grow from being a technical expert in, or a subject matter expert in an area, and help them figure out why is something going on in my company or my team, and help them provide some frameworks or processes or ways of thinking about what do I do now that can grow my company, my team, my leadership, my investment in a way that's going to, benefit my company.
No, I love that. I mean, you highlighted before, but I'll just kind of call it out. Like, you use a adult learning model methodology. Mm-hmm. It's not, you as the business owner, not like you're sending people over to Normandy, let's say, for example, just to get lectured at. No. We're going to have a conversation, and we're going to talk about who made this decision, what was the thing. Hey, you have these similar, if you have friction between you and another unit, or you and another organization, you and another individual, how do we kind of smooth that out to be successful and kind of own that? I love the fact you're doing that, because I don't think everybody does that. And then, based on the feedback I've got for those folks that have participated in your program, it's very positive, and they've seen more growth than they ever thought they're going to have on the back end as a result of your process. So that's gigantic. So Chris, how do folks find both you and Barrel Strength Leadership?
Myself, LinkedIn. That's probably the easiest way to find Barrel Strength Leadership. We do posts, and I try to talk about some of the themes. BarrelStrengthLeadership.org is the website. I want to make a personal connection with that team, because I think the personal connections allows you to pull out their expertise, and especially if you're growing your team, find that team member that you didn't know existed, and be able to lean on them to help you solve problems.
That's wonderful. Hey, Chris, thanks for your friendship. Thanks for coming on today. And then more importantly, thanks for what you're doing with Barrel Strength Leadership to help companies and other organizations be a better version of themselves. Because as you know, we're in the people business. So I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on, Chris. Appreciate it.
All right. See you later. All right, folks, like what you heard, please share us, connect with Chris and myself on LinkedIn. Take a look at Barrel Strength Leadership. If you take a look at Chris's post, you can see how passionate he is. And then you also see the tangible and intangible benefits of participating in his program, which is unique, and it provides a lot of value both to the individual and to the organization. No doubt you get that return on investment that you're looking for in growth within the company as a business leader. So see you next segment, and live with gratitude.